Most people who think they're smart are actually just good at remembering things other people said. Intelligence got confused with storage somewhere along the way. We live in a world where being able to recall facts, quote studies, and reference frameworks feels like intelligence. Someone drops a term like Dunning-Kruger in a meeting, and suddenly they seem credible. Someone else cites a statistic about productivity, and the room nods. But here's the thing. None of that required thinking. It required memory, and we built an entire social system that rewards memory and calls it intelligence. The myth is simple. If you know a lot, you must be smart. If you can explain concepts, reference books, and sound informed, you're clearly operating at a higher level. Most people believe this. Most people also believe they're above average in intelligence. Both can't be true. The core myth is that intelligence is about what you know. It's not. Intelligence is about what you do when you don't know. It's about adapting, connecting unrelated ideas, and solving problems you've never seen before. But that's harder to showcase, so we default to displaying knowledge instead. This happens because of a bias called the fluency heuristic. When something comes to you easily, when you can recall it, repeat it, explain it, you experience cognitive fluency. Your brain interprets that fluency as competence. It feels like understanding. But fluency is not the same as insight. You can be fluent in someone else's idea and still have no ability to generate your own. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most of what people call being smart is just being well-read or well-exposed. You consumed the right podcast, you read the right book, you're in the right conversation. Then you repeat it, the world rewards you, you start to believe you're intelligent, but you haven't actually tested whether you can think. The fluency heuristic explains why this happens. When something feels easy to process, we assume it's true, important, or reflective of our ability. If you can explain a concept smoothly, your brain gives you a little dopamine hit. You feel competent. The problem is, explaining something you learned is a different skill than figuring out something new. Let's ground this. You're in a work meeting. Someone asks a tough question about strategy. You've read 3 books on strategy, so you reference a framework. Porter's 5 Forces, maybe. Everyone's impressed. But then someone asks a follow-up question that doesn't fit the framework. Now you're stuck, because you don't actually know how to think about the problem. You only know how to recall a solution someone else designed. This is why people who seem smart in conversation often struggle with novel problems. They've optimized for recall and presentation. They haven't optimized for adaptation. And because the world mostly rewards the former, they never realize the gap. There's a second layer here. Social proof reinforces this. If other people treat you like you're smart because you know things, you'll keep investing in knowing more things. You'll read more books, listen to more podcasts, collect more mental models, and you'll mistake that accumulation for growth. But growth isn't about adding, it's about integrating. It's about using what you know in situations that don't have a script. So here's what actually matters. Rule 1. Test yourself in situations where you can't reference anything. Put yourself in conversations or problems where you don't have a framework to lean on. If you can only perform when you've studied the topic beforehand, you're not thinking, you're performing. Real intelligence shows up when the script doesn't exist. Rule 2. Stop optimizing for sounding smart. Start optimizing for being wrong quickly. The fastest way to develop real thinking is to make a claim, test it, and adjust. Most people avoid this because being wrong feels bad, but being wrong is where learning happens. If you're never wrong, you're never at the edge of your ability. Rule 3. Measure yourself by what you build, not what you know. Knowledge is potential. Output is proof. If you can't take an idea and turn it into something, a decision, a solution, a product, a prediction, then the idea is just decoration. Intelligence is only useful when it's applied, and application requires more than memory. Here's the shift. Stop asking, do I know enough? Start asking, can I figure this out? The first question leads to accumulation. The second leads to capability. Most people mistake a full library for a sharp mind. Intelligence isn't about how much you've stored. It's about how fast you can build something new when the instructions are missing.